What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Save the World video. It's two back-to-back Save the World episodes since the last one was the Save the World weapon one. And this one's also going to be another Save the World weapon one. But in this one, you see I got like a pistol build on. I changed it from the sticky fingers sort of setup to it's totally rocking out setup. Uh, and we are doing the Plasmatron. This is what I have for it. It is subject to change. Like I might swap out that fire rate for something else. I might swap it out. What could I swap it out for if I have to? I could swap it out for a damage or a second heat capacity, or I could swap around like the cooling rate for the heat capacity. Yeah, swap the cooling rate for the heat capacity, and then swap that fire rate for a heat capacity, and then that would probably let me shoot a bit longer. But right now, this is what it's going to be: heat capacity, and then it has the critical hits cause explosions. It is, as far as I know, a pretty fast firing weapon. So I want to try it out. I want to see if it's good. Uh, a lot of the guns like that aren't, in my opinion, aren't that good. Like I know that the atomizer is a pretty good crit weapon. A lot of people use it. Um, but what about the other guns in that category, right? Um in that collection book category. I want to try them, not all of them. Just this one and probably the other pistol. What was it? The other pistol, the Plasmatron Mini. Basically, it's probably the only one. I think I tried it this one a little more recently than this one, so maybe it's different. Not too sure. I do know they changed a bit. But I had done that one years ago. But right now, I'm gonna try out the little pistol and we'll see if it's good. I'm gonna go into this 160 and I'll see you guys when I'm in there. All right, we're in. Now, if you're not familiar with how it shoots these rings. Cool little rings. Don't have too much range on them, but they are cool. I'm avoiding doing the birthday llama quests because I have like almost all the weapons and heroes. The only heroes I don't have are the birthday heroes. Except for one. I think it's the first birthday hero. It's a soldier. It's one of the only birthday heroes I have. I think you can still get birthday heroes, but I don't really want to try for any of the birthday heroes. I do want to try this pistol out though. I want to try it on a big guy, which is what I've been looking for. Fortunately, because of its range and how it shoots, it's kind of like awkward to use, and it also can overheat. I have heat capacity on it. I might want to put two heat capacities because what it looks like. I mean, it might need two heat capacities or a cooling rate. A cooling rate might help, to be honest, as well. It is a pistol. It's more like an SMG, in my opinion, because of its. But it's not the best weapon. I didn't think it was the best weapon either when I initially got it. Like, if I get a weapon that I don't have, I'm gonna try it out. Um, this was one of them, and I got it, and it was like, well, I'm gonna try it. I should try for headshots as well, but headshots because of an expanding ring, it's kind of like different to get headshots with it. You can, Oh, he's stuck on me. Oh no, I'm dead. No. It is cool for large groups of enemies because of the expanding rings, but at the same time, when you're fighting a little bit of guys, it's not the best. Oh, he died. Does not go through the riot shields, which sucks. I don't think I could even gap it into the riot shields. No, you can't. You can't even gap it into their little eye hole. Into the eye hole. So we tried it on all three of the mist monsters. I guess now the only other mist monster is what, the flinger, and we can't do that one. It is cool. It's pretty cool, but it's not very good. It's not very good, but it is really fun. The rings. So you didn't even hit him. Still not hitting. That one hit, but it did barely any damage. It's gotta be right up on you. Oh, he blew up on me. Okay, I think I want to change. Uh, I think I want to change the fire rate. Maybe for another heat capacity. Cooling rate would be cool, but a cooling rate. A cooling rate only increases that time that it needs to cool down. Um, Heat capacity is how hot it could get, right? So basically increases the use time. One will increase the use time, the other will like kind of decrease the time required to cool. So if I use it like this and it gets red, cool time overheated. I think cool time applies to both of those. So an overheat and a cool, or and a I guess the passive cool you get just from using it like that. But I'm gonna change. I'm gonna add another heat capacity, and then I'll jump back into this mission. Oh right. Where's okay? What's that noise? We're back. We got three. I have the one in the middle. This is the middle one. Has double heat capacity. The one on the far right is the one I was using earlier. This one is the heat capacity fire rate, and then the first one is double fire rate, heat capacity, and crit rating. Um, with this one, I have a 300 hit damage and a 42% chance. And these ones are just the same hit damage, just different like different fire rates. And the one is a double heat capacity. So this one's the one I was using originally. This one's the double heat capacity. This one's double heat capacity fire rate. Yep. Oh no, sorry. This one is double fire rate heat capacity. This one's double heat capacity. Yeah, the middle one's double heat capacity. I need to organize these. It's so broken. This one's I was using originally. I know that. This one is a double heat capacity, and then this one's double fire rate. Okay, so double fire rate with double heat capacity. I could shoot forever, or a really long time, rather. And this was the original one. So we're gonna try them, basically. I got a couple different ones just because I want to try them. This is double heat capacity. These enemies are gonna be 250, or they should be at least. Yeah. This just lets me shoot longer. I'm doing less damage, but I'm shooting longer. Alright. And this one, we'll try this one. I gotta crowd ammo in a bit because I'm running through it with this one. The double fire rate. Double fire rate's not bad. It just makes it so it takes forever to even. I need to craft ammo. I'm slowed. Alright. I got 3K. Let's look for a big enemy. I want to try the fire rate on a big enemy. I think double fire rate heat capacity is probably pretty good, but I need to find a way. I need something to sacrifice in order to get the crit damage higher. Because if it has the original crit damage and I'm hitting headshot and it's fast, it's firing a lot faster, then I'll have a chance to hit crits faster, which would be really good. It just overheats pretty quickly because of its. And I did get totally rocking out as well, so I should be. I don't know where they're at. I should be pretty well off. Oh, they're right here. I should be pretty well off if I get it again. He didn't die. No, so I wouldn't be able to get it then. Maybe now. It's gonna overheat, and then I want it to overheat. I also don't want to be in direct line of sight of that blaster. And I'm avoiding hitting him, but it looks like I have anyway. Because I want to do this. It just shoots so fast. But and then again, if you're thinking about it, you have to unload a whole, you have to use basically all your heat capacity just to kill it with the faster fire rate. And the faster fire rate, I'm already down, was 7 of 6. I'm already down like, was it 240 freaking bullets? And they got a healer. I want to see what it does to the healer as well. Where's the healer at? Is the question. Right there. Healer dead. So 160 healer. It kind of got jumped by the circles, the rings. I want to try it on another big enemy, but we gotta find a big enemy. It's the only issue. There's another healer. Healers are always super annoying. Let's try it out on this guy again. I think the fire rate kind of impairs its own healing abilities, which is good. If I line them up right, I can get them all killed pretty quickly. And that gets me my totally rocking out, which lets me do a lot more damage. And that's the hope with this weapon. You want to get with a decent group of enemies. Sounds like a smasher up here. With a decent group of enemies, so you can kind of maximize the amount of kills you're going to do. Since it's a ring, I'm not hitting anything, but since it's a ring, you kind of have that a bit of wide area you could hit enemies in, which makes for your potential to kill a lot of enemies a lot higher. But I gotta spam this guy. He's not going nowhere. He's weird. But I mean, kill time, I guess you could say, is pretty short just because of the fire rate. But you have bugs like that. I don't know if that was my internet, where I'm just shooting and nothing's coming out. There we go. The explosion killed him, which is nice. Uh, that was relatively quickly, and it would be a lot faster again if there were a lot of enemies. So if you're defending an objective, like this is retrieve, not retrieve data. This is a ride lightning mission. So if I have to defend something, there's gonna be a lot of enemies in one area. Uh, I could get my Totally Rock now, which would let me do a lot more damage. Uh, so if I was kind of just like in a group of enemies, they're not gonna die as quickly because of the smoke screen, but in groups of enemies, it's pretty good, especially since it goes through enemies, so you can kind of just use that to your advantage. Let all the enemies soak up all the damage, and you could be well off in that aspect. I think that the fire rate is probably the better of them. Um, Fire rate is the better of them just because of double fire rate. It's got a crit rating, so it doesn't compromise the hit chance, but it lost the crit damage, so it's not doing as high of crit hits. Um, but you can always play with it around. I like the double fire rate with. Oh, we'll see what we can sacrifice. Actually, yeah. Let's go back to the schematic view in the lobby, I guess, and we'll see what else we can change to it. Oh right, we are back. Now we got fire rate, heat capacity, fire rate, critical rating. So, what I was thinking originally, double heat capacity, fire rate. I don't think I have that on one of the weapons, do I? No, I have a double heat capacity, crit damage. So, and this one is a fire rate, so it does even more DPS, right? This one is double fire rate, so it's even more DPS. Heat capacity. So, man, I really don't want to have to change that crit rating. I need to favorite this thing because sometimes I can't find it. Okay, so it's crit rating. Damage inflicted. None of this work. You can do crit rating. An expanding ring of damage. So the expanding ring is cool too. I think it does more damage than the projectile scatter, but it can only occur every 4 seconds, and it's upon elimination, which is cool. I like that it's upon elimination because, say, say you're in a trap tunnel, it's a hallway, uh, and you're just firing down it with this weapon. This weapon has that kind of big area. It shoots a giant ring basically, so it's a big old area of attack. The enemies can walk through it. It pierces enemies. Well, pierces almost all enemies, right? The right shield glass it does not, but even if it doesn't, that ring of damage or that explosion could still do damage to them because those stuff go through the right shield. Um, so either of them is cool. I think maybe the double fire rate is probably the better of them. Um, hmm, I think the double fire is probably the better of them. Uh, Cooling rate, I wouldn't go with cooling rate, especially if you're doing a fire, double fire rate. That's because you have to stop shooting for it to cool, and with heat capacity, it's kind of the amount of heat that your weapon can hold or withstand before overheating. Um, Dang, I mean, man, I really want a crit damage. There's no other crit damage that can go on here. Uh, this is basically it, which sucks because okay, so it's this one double fire rate. Scrapping those two. Let's scrap this too. Wait, do I have any more of those? I don't think I have any more of those. No, it'd be in the 130 areas. No, I don't. So actually, I'm just gonna scrap it. Yeah, I'm just gonna scrap it. I can craft more if I need more. Scrap that too. Shotgun, bow. Actually, bow. There we go. Okay. I think the double fired is gonna be the better option. It's kind of like situation based though. You could do this and then just have this character in here, but then that's you don't need this one on there either. Oh man, it's so like their characters that give energy damage like this one. Energy damage by 20% while shields are full. Shields have to be full, or at least 50%, right? Yeah. Um. Dang, that's. And there aren't really other characters. Well, you could do this one. It is considered a ranged weapon. Switching weapons or reloading removes buffs. I don't know if it applies to the pistol, but I would assume it does. But it's just when it overheats, it removes the buff. This one doesn't even if it can be reloaded. Energy siphon, which is basically shield. So you could, I mean, you could use energy siphon, and then you could also use um the character that gives you energy damage increase. Well, shields are at 50, right? Because with energy siphon, you're gonna be gaining shield per elimination. So you kill a good bit of enemies, and you can get your shields back, which works. I should have used this one because this is pistol damage and impact for the first 6 shots, uh, which could increase the damage. It actually didn't increase the damage of this. 19507. So, I guess it has to have 6 shots to begin with. I know you could shoot 6 times, but it doesn't have a magazine. So, a magazine or a cylinder, whatever you pistol, right? Dang. First assault, but it doesn't even. After reloading overheating, the next 2 shots have 100. You could use. Oh, you could use this. It does have the. But then you would have to overheat. You would have to overheat it. Um. And you don't have 42% 300 hit damage. The headshot and the damage are the same. So it doesn't matter where you hit the enemy, the headshot damage is gonna be the same. What the heck? I guess it is an expanding ring, so if you think about it, the enemy would walk in and hit it. And it would hit everywhere on the enemy at once. Um oh man. Well, I mean, I guess that's how the weapon's gonna be. This is the build for it. You could use first assault, you don't have to use first assault. You could use plasma arc, you don't need to use plasma arc. Obviously, you do want increased pistol SMG damage. Um, you do want make it count for the increased critical damage. Um, you could use Totally Rockin' Out. What other things could you use? Um, you could use Phase Blaster, but that requires you to. That requires 2 Outlanders, but well, I wouldn't use that. Zap 105 base energy. I think you can crit with Zap, which is what I've been trying to do with that because I think Zap also shoots through walls if the enemies are close enough, which is cool, but it doesn't do nearly enough damage. But you can use ability energy. So if you have Zap and Azalea Clark, uh, I don't know if it considers an ability. Though. I don't think it is. So it wouldn't do energy. increased. I don't know. This is the build for it then, and then I'll show you the schematic of it. This is the schematic. And that is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have suggestions on what I should change on the build, or what hero build I should use for it, what hero support setup, or any of that sort of thing for this weapon, then let me know in the comments. But again, that is going to be it. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.